Yes, okay, I'm recording now. It's great to see you all finally. Hello, Madison. I got in earlier this afternoon, just a few hours ago. I came here from Chicago, Illinois. Thank you so much for coming. Notice that there are differences between Chicago and then and Madison and whatnot. As far as pizza, we got Giordano's, we got Beggar's Pizza, and y'all got Ian's. That's okay, that's cool. Schools, like we got University of Illinois Chicago, University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign, y'all got University of Wisconsin, Madison, and Milwaukee, okay. Notice public transportation. Chicago has the CTA, Chicago Transit Authority, or it's the L as we like to call it, that's been around for the last 70 years and spans over the course of 100 miles. And you all have a mode of public transportation. I don't know what else to say about it. I couldn't even figure it out. But no, I love it. I love being here in Madison. I do. I've been performing here since 2017, November of 2017. And the first time I came here was for the Lady Labs Comedy Festival that year. Remember that another difference that we have is that in Chicago, like every other block or so, maybe I'd see one or two Black Lives Matter posters in my neighborhood around my apartment in Chicago. And then I get here, and within a half hour, I saw 15 Black Lives Matter posters as soon as I come into Madison, Wisconsin. They were all on Williamson Street for some reason. I don't know what happened, but goddamn. I do know what happened, but goddamn. We should talk about that. Y'all don't want to talk about it, but I can. There's more support for Black lives than there are Black people out here, I notice that. I mean, Chicago's the other way around. You should see it as something else, really. The one thing I noticed is that this is the one town that I've gone to that I've performed in where I'm walking around and the white guilt is so fresh. Y'all smile at me and don't tell me what you're smiling for.
So true.
White ladies do it all the time, man. That's what I always wanted in the 6th grade. White women smiling at me. That was me. But it took some adjusting for people, not just in my hometown of Chicago, but like here and then like other cities I performed in, Houston, Texas, Baltimore, Maryland, New York, Washington, D.C., different places who haven't seen people like me. And I usually have to say, I look the way I do because my father is a native Chicagoan and my mom is Dennis Rodman. Yes. I feel like Queen Latifah, but I know I still look like Don Cheadle in Cheap Drag. You don't remember that part of Avengers Endgame, but I assure you it's in there. War Machine, more like Fierce Machine. That's me. One thing I do want to share with you all is that I do have a day job, and I just got promoted at my day job. Really happy about that. Very, very happy. What I do is that I used to monitor recess, lunch, and after-school programs for children ages 5 through 14. Now I'm a kindergarten aide, where I just work mostly in a classroom with kindergartners, and it pays more. So fantastic. Yes, fantastic. I like to mention that, given all the stigma that surrounds, trans people and how people think we treat children. And it's usually that they judge trans women more than they judge trans men for that reason. That's something I have noticed. Me, I can't hide it. I take pride in the fact that I am a Black transgender woman and I take care of children for a living. I am Black. Yeah. I'm black because I can't hide it, trans because, God forbid, a woman has a bigger penis than Trump. It's a sissy dick, but I assure you it's bigger than his. Alright, that's enough talk about something I'm not sure I ever wanted. I mean, it's there, I'll deal with it. Whatever. I learned two things about children when it comes to children. I learned that one, children are smart enough to know that the world is round, but dumb enough to think that it revolves around them. I also learned that, two, their idea of what a boy or a girl is mostly comes from their parents. When their parents think of all the jolly good old people who take care of their kids during the day, they're not expecting me. So their parents see me and they get all sketchy and stuff. I'm like, sure, be nervous about leaving your small child with a black trainee, but you're still taking them to the Catholic Church, so best of luck. May he walk with Christ. No, but me being trans, I do have to share with you all that, fair share of things have happened. Of course, people don't know how to respond to me. I've noticed that kids especially don't know how to respond to me. An example is that one day I was having lunch with a kindergartner, which given any other occupation, you should definitely call the police. So, I was having lunch with a kindergartner and he decided to speak his mind about me. He said, "Miss KJ, it's weird that you're a girl, because you talk like a boy, you look like a boy. KJ's a boy's name, and sometimes I can see your mustache." I thought, well, yes, thank you, okay. By the way, your mom's not on vacation, she left you. So your daddy picks you up every day, buddy. Of course, I'm only kidding about that. It was his dad that left, actually. I don't usually laugh this much at my own jokes, but I'm having so much fun. But that's just something I noticed. Actually, I have to share with you all that I did get in some trouble recently, not for what I said to that kindergartner, but I did get in some trouble. It's actually for my shoes. If you can't see it, I'm actually wearing these shoes that that has a lot of writing on it. I have stuff. These are Nike, so I have "just do it to be seen." I have no chill. And I also have Black Lives Matter, all cops are bastards, and what else? I have Dismantle America, but instead of the C, I have KKK. So stuff like that. These shoes mean a lot to me. But I also have phrases, "no turfs, no swerves" on it. And yay! So I also have that. But here's the thing, explaining "no turfs," to anyone, like no trans exclusionary radical feminist, I have no problem with that. It's very appropriate. I'm trans, I find it easy. But then comes the no swerve part. And then I have to explain what a sex worker is to an 8-year-old. No matter how old you are, that's not a trip anyone wants to take to the principal's office. Thank you. I do support sex workers, though. I do. I've had partners who were sex workers, and I've had partners who were sex workers at the time when they dated me, and still are. I do. But me personally, I've never paid for the services of a sex worker. I never have. But if I did, I would prefer it be with a big, strong woman who could definitely overpower me. Which, if you think about it, is a different kind of Amazon Prime.
Nice.
You're welcome. As I said, people don't know how to respond to me. People don't know how to respond to trans people when they see them in public or anywhere else, except you respond to us the way you respond to anyone you just don't know. You leave us the fuck alone. My co-workers, especially, I work in childcare, most of my co-workers are cis women, I've noticed. And that's just my reality. And whether, cis straight women or cis queer women, there is a popular belief, unfortunate popular belief, that trans women are not real women. That's what I hear a lot. Trans women are not real women. And the biggest reason that we get is because that some of us still have penises. Personally, I would like to think of my penis as a built-in strap-on.
Fuck yeah.
That works well for me. But I am from Chicago, Illinois. There's like north side and south side of Chicago, Illinois. I'm from the south side. I currently live on the north side. In case you don't know the difference, is that on the north side, if you call the police, they actually show up to help you. Yeah, you should try it. You can't do it if you're me, but you should definitely try it otherwise. Being where I am, especially like I try to visit my home, more often. There are brothers that come up to me to try to show that, they're woke now. It's 2019, there are black men who try to come up to me and try to tell me, hey, it's cool to be you. I'm like, all right, cool. But then the annoying ones come up to me and be like, hey man, yo, hold up. Alright, I just wanted to tell you, right, okay, I don't care if you're gay or not, you know what I'm saying? Like, as long as you don't like me, you know what I'm saying? Nigga, you look like an onion, shut the fuck up. Can you imagine in one same day you look like an onion? That is my new favorite insult. Nigga, you look like an onion. But then I had another interaction. Actually, no, here's the thing. Like, I'm on the north side, walking around. I have on, most of my skirts are very floral, very colorful. These are one of the only black skirts that I have. And I was wearing that one day. I'm walking outside my apartment. There's this brother who sees me. He looks disgusted. I'm like, for my safety, I'm going to avoid the situation. And I do. I walk away. But instead, he runs up to me to try to tell me how he feels about me. He comes up to me and he says, hey man, yo, listen. I just wanted to tell you, your daddy don't even love you. Yeah, and I thought, well, I guess you're my daddy now. And yes, I've been a very, very bad girl. And for those who are comfortable with some of the race stuff that I've said so far, some of the other stuff, I've noticed that some of you weren't sure if you can laugh at some of my race stuff. I do want to share with you all that not having many people of color or black people as friends does not make you racist. It doesn't. It just doesn't. Not laughing at my jokes definitely does, so cheer the fuck out. But the thing is, if people don't judge me and make fun of me when because I'm trans, it's because I'm black. Or, they're curious about me because I'm black. I'll give you an example. Like Cal said earlier, that I got the opportunity to perform in Baltimore, Maryland for the Charm City Comedy Festival. I had never been to Baltimore before. I definitely recommend it. It is a very beautiful city if you ever get the chance to go. Very beautiful. They take seafood very seriously. But I got to go there and I was performing in a bar called Zissimo's, and it's in the Hampton neighborhood. So I go to Zissimo's. I went to scope out the place before I performed, and I noticed this gentleman who was across the bar. He noticed me, and he decided to come up to me. And, he's older. He's about 50 or 60 years of age. He's white, drunk as expected. comes up to me trying to shake my hand. I'm like, all right, I'll shake your hand. He says, you know, I was the only white guy growing up in the projects of North Carolina in the 80s. So I know exactly what you're going through. Nigga, what happened to just saying hi? You could have said anything else at all. That would have been fine. I mean, seriously, that's why your daughter won't bring Tyrell around the house. That's what happens. Another situation I came into was actually 5 minutes outside of my apartment. I went to a sports bar down the street from my apartment. I had nothing but white people in there while Sweet Caroline was playing on repeat. That's Red Song #1. Of course, I decided to sit down and have a drink, and I'm writing. You know, I'm writing material, practicing and whatnot. And then there's this a drunk white woman who sat next to me. For the purpose of this story, we will call her Becky. It was Amanda, but I sure used the same name. Becky turns to me and says, "Can I tell you something?" Which is not a good idea. I haven't learned my lesson with white women, of course. I just haven't. I date so many of them throughout my life. But I'm like, sure, tell me what you need to tell me. You have the perfect skin. I like it. It's so youthful and healthy. It's the perfect color. Your skin is the perfect color. Now, she said this in front of her white boyfriend, who is visibly upset. Her boyfriend gets up, looks me dead in the eye, and a tear comes down his cheek. And I orgasmed instantly. That's my thing! That's my thing! Making white men feel small. Man, I'm having such a good time up here, for real. I am. Fall is here, finally, and we're in fall. Halloween is coming up, or gay Christmas as we Yeah. I feel like white guys named Jim cannot dress as the Crow for Halloween. They can't say nigga either, but I thought that was a given. I also feel like some white women like Lizzo so much because they finally have a black friend that they can pause at any time. You know it's true. You know it's true. She was actually just in town in Chicago. I believe she was here too, just recently. Yeah. Beautiful. Glad you all know that. Well, if I didn't lose you in what I just said, I have more material. And before the summer was over, I got to go to an awesome event called WakandaCon. I don't know if you've heard of it in Chicago, but WakandaCon is like Comic-Con, but it's inspired by Black Panther and Afrofuturism. So it's more or less just for, mostly black people. I've noticed. I feel confident saying that in front of this diverse audience of white millennials. It's just something I've noticed. I mean, there are other folks who are not white millennials. I know this, whether you're not a millennial or you're closer to my skin tone. But this is my set, so just I can see every last one of you motherfuckers in the audience. But they have, not only do they have like body paint and clothes and whatnot, and a whole bunch of black vendors. I recommend if you ever get the chance to go to Chicago and the time where WakandaCon has happened, definitely go. They have affordable prices, definitely go. But they had a panel called Queer Kinda, which centers on the queer and trans community within the Black community. And I learned something very startling. By a show of hands even, how many of you know what the average life expectancy for a Black transgender woman is? How many of you? All right, couple. One, all right, two, three. All right, three of you. I want to ask you, how old?
35.
35? I heard that it was 35. It just dropped down to 33. I'm 27 and I have 6 years to live statistically. That is hurtful and painful, but also brings up the thought, well, screw you, student loans, I won't be allowed to pay. I'm gonna die before my comedy career takes off, but I'm gonna die beautiful. I just want to share that with you all. You know, I really do. Like, when it comes down to it, like, I want to share that a lot of folks hear my politics, and I said this the last time I was in town, a lot of folks hear my politics, a lot of right-wing people hear my politics, they like to call me a snowflake. Confuses me because I thought snowflakes were white. These alt-right or white nationalist groups, which these are the politically correct terms for Nazis. You know, as a Black transgender woman, I support political correctness, so I don't want to be rude. One of these white nationalists or folks came out and said, you know, well, if we look at the NAACP, clearly Black people have the right to that. So why don't we have a WAACP? So basically, you want a white association for the advancement of colored people. Nigga, that's exactly why you don't have that. Furthermore, we already have the WAACP. They made the movie Green Book. There's a reason I'm called the queen of radical fucking comedy in Chicago. Get used to it. I do want to share something with you all. It's very special to me that I share this. This is kind of random, but recently I did a show that was themed around Frida Kahlo for trans women, non-binary folks who are out there. Like, if you know who Frida Kahlo is, fantastic. For cis men who know who Frida Kahlo is, I don't believe you. Mexican painter, activist, and communist, which actually was the fact that thrilled me the most about her, because we remember, in the 50s, 60s, when we thought the worst thing you could be in this country was a communist. Now imagine our surprise when we find out that the worst thing you actually can be in this country is an American. That's just sharing that with you all. I feel comfortable sharing that. Of course, for this show, I had to do research on Frida Kahlo. I did. I didn't know that much about her, unfortunately. So I went to any resourceful, place I could find information that everyone else goes to, and I went to Wikipedia. And I saw a lot of what Frida Kahlo did, a lot of paintings, a lot of history on her and whatnot, but I was surprised not to hear that she was queer on the Wikipedia page. It's actually there. I didn't see that, but the thing was she was totally gay. Mm-hmm. And even while she was married to Diego Rivera, she had several partners, most of which were women. She did that back then so that I can do this now. Polyamory is a thing, and when you want to disappoint your parents, you might as well do it with 3 different people. Of course, we know the unfortunate story when it came to Frida Kahlo, that she died very young. She had an accident when she was 18. She was already sick with polio, of course, and she only lived to be the age of 47. But in that time period where she was alive, she left behind some awesome quotes. Awesome quotes that I try to live by now. And I'm only supposed to live till I'm 33, and I'm 27. So in the case, you may never see me again, I want to share with you all my books. Number 1, I've never seen The Godfather. That's one. Number 2, Republicans pour the milk into the bowl before the cereal. Absolutely not, right? Number 3, my last quote. In life, there are 3 things I don't have time for. Squirrels, people who say it regardless, and white supremacy. Madison, Wisconsin, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Have a good night.
Give it up for Katie.